Hey there, in this video we are diving into the world of natural language processing, a crucial area of AI that enables machine to understand and respond to human language. Today we'll keep it simple, walking you through the core concepts like language detection, sentiment analysis, key phrase extraction and entity recognition. We'll learn how NLP can be applied to real-world tasks like chatbots and language translation, and we will show you how to get started with NLP using Azure's AI services. So whether you're aiming for roles like an AI engineer, data scientist, or NLP specialist, understanding these fundamentals of NLP is key to excelling in AI. So let's jump in.
To help you understand natural language, just to keep it simple, the process is pretty simple. Okay, I speak something. Okay, suppose if I say hi, okay, and the moment I say hi, someone is going to go ahead and understand what I told, right? So whatever I spoke is basically called as natural language. Okay, whatever is transmitted, okay, this is what we call natural language. You can say transmission of natural language. Okay, NLP. And once this natural language processing happens, basically this whole process, okay, wherein we have everything called as natural language processing, it actually boils down to one single thing, that there is an operator, okay, or you can say a receiver. There is an operator as well as a receiver. So this person, you can call it as more of a receiver, okay, and or you can say transmitter, and we will have a person who is going to be operator. Okay, just to keep it simple. So the moment you say something, the person is able to respond back to you because he is able to understand your language. So this process wherein the person returns back a response to the operator. Okay, just to keep it simple, the person returns back response is what we basically called as this happens when the person is able to understand the language. Okay, so here we had a natural language that was being understood by the receiver, and then there is going to be a response back. Okay, so there was a request, okay, wherein a person told hi, this request went to the receiver. He was, or she was, or the system was able to understand and then give a response back. Simple. Okay, and this whole process is what we call as natural language processing. In this, the most important thing is a conversation to start, the conversation to be understood, and then a written back response in natural language, okay, to the operator. The whole process, we call it as natural language processing. Now, when we talk about natural language processing, we'll not get into the detail of how these systems are built, because this course is about developing AI solutions. Okay, developing AI solutions. And when we say developing AI solutions, using a very simple thing, if you remember, pre-trained Azure models. Okay, we are not building our machine learning models. Okay, I can put it this way, pre-trained Azure machine learning models, or you want to call it as deep learning, you can call that also machine learning, or we can call it as a deep learning model. Okay, so we use those, and if we are happy with the result, like here we are not training the model, okay, the response that we get from the model, okay, if we are happy with the response of the model, if we are happy with the response of the model, well and good, we will take it. And if we are unhappy with the response of the model, okay, if we are unhappy with the response of the model, we will try to go ahead and custom train the model. Okay. Now, the same word analogy on different platforms can be used. Here, Microsoft says custom training. Someone can say fine tuning. But fine tuning, people generally go ahead and say for a large language model. But if you want to use the word fine tuning also, you can very well go ahead and do it. So you fine tune the model. You fine tune the model because once you fine tune the model, the response that you get, okay, once you fine tune the model, the response that you get, okay, after fine tuning, you will test the model performance before getting the response. You will test the model, okay, test the model train. And if you're happy with the performance at the time of testing, here you do not test the model, right? You trust on the model, the pre-trained model directly. You do not test the model. You directly use the model. Correct. But here you test the model because you have fine-tuned, or you can say custom trained the model on your data. So you test the model and you are happy with the performance at the time of testing. Okay. And then you deploy the model. And then when you deploy, you get the response. And this time, when you get the response, it should be good enough, right? So here you will be able to get a response with which you're happy. Okay. So you test the model, the response is good. Fine. Okay. And then you directly deploy the model in the production. Fine. So this is a process. And if I can put it in simple terms, let me use a color. We will be using this. Okay. And we will also be doing this. And then we will actually be testing the model. Okay, we'll not be putting it into production right now, but we'll be testing the model, getting the response. And if you're happy, you will be able to get the endpoints, the revised endpoints, which you can use it for production to get the response, which you can use in production to get the response. So these are the things that we are going to go ahead and look into. So just to keep it simple, we will use this. Okay, then we may use this, and then we will be able to get this, and then finally you will get an endpoint that you can use in your application. What are we basically going to go ahead and do? We will analyze the text wherein we will detect the language. We will analyze the sentiment. We will also get the key phrases that are there in the document. Okay, and then we will also find entities. Now, just to keep it simple, if I say, 1 second, let me change the color. If I say the sky is blooming in London, if I put it this way, and if I ask a very simple question to any human, what is the language? They may say it is English. Okay, and then in English also there are different dialects. Suppose it is considering it to be English US. Okay, it can be English US, UK, India, any other dialect. Okay, so right now suppose it is English with an ISO general information it is going to take from which language it belongs to. Generally, it will be same for all in which region it belongs to. Then we want to identify the sentiment and we can say neutral. There is no sentiment here. Okay. There's some text. So I can say it as neutral. Then key phrases if I talk. So key phrases, what do we mean by key phrase? Key phrase are like adjectives. So if I say key phrase, you can say that bloomy or you can say the sky is blooming. This you can call it as a key phrase. Generally, those are I cannot say adjective, I can call it as key phrases. That signifies the sentence, okay? And then once we have the key phrase, we also want to identify the entity. Now, entity is a general entity, okay? A name, I'm putting it like a noun, okay? Place or a thing, what we used to study in school. So if I ask name, place or thing, you will automatically say London. You can also consider sky to be a name, right? It is a generic name, but it is also a name. So many a times entity can also be part of key phrase. But what is key phrase? It is more like adjective you can call it. This is my understanding. It depends upon model to model, but generally it is adjective and entity recognition. You can call it more like a noun. Okay. Now, what are we going to do? Just to keep it simple, to do this work, we can come here. So I can directly click on the language service. Once I click on the language service, I have already deployed a language service in Australia East. Okay. So the point is, we can create our language service directly from here. So I'll just click on create. The moment I click on create, here you can see these are some default features that we get. Default features. Okay. If you want to create your own question answering, okay, suppose you have some FAQ document, okay, and you want to build a question answering, a direct question answer scenario on this FAQ document. Now, it is pretty clear that your organization FAQ, the model might not have seen. The language service, this language service, okay, this language service in Azure might not have seen this, your FAQ document, right? This language service. At that point of time, you would like to go ahead with custom question answering. Similarly, you have some documents, okay? Suppose you have some documents and you want to classify the document, okay? You can say text classification, but that will basically be part of the document. So suppose you have the document and you want to classify the document, okay? Or maybe an article, okay? Similarly, you want to identify the entities that are there in the document that are classified or you can say specific data only available in your organization that the model might not have seen. So if you want to do custom text classification, custom entity recognition, custom sentiment analysis, custom text analytics specifically for health, okay, you want to analyze the document for a health, okay, text analytics for health, not just for a simple thing that we were trying to do, detect the language, identify the key phrases. We want to know what is the disease like, what is the magnitude, okay, of the issue that is available in the report, something similar to that. Okay, so we can do all this. So for that, what I'm going to do, I'll select this and I'll select this. Try to understand what I'm doing. I'm selecting this. The moment I select this, always remember, when you want to build a custom question answering, you will be accompanying this custom question answering with a service called as Azure AI Search. Azure AI Search, actually, when you upload, when you give a URL, okay, or when you write your Q&A, okay, you write your self question answers things. What basically happens, whatever you write, it needs to be, what you can say, it needs to be, not chunk, I would say. We want to create an indexing out of it. Okay. So for the indexing purpose of your documents URLs, you can make use of Azure AI Search. So this is by default going to come. Okay. Now, if you want to build your own search solutions using some thing else, okay, that is totally possible. There is no denying that you cannot use that. Okay, maybe you want to build your own indexing using some free services, open source, okay, on your local systems. You can actually go ahead and do that. Right now we are not discussing about that. We are discussing one of the service available in Azure that we can use for indexing. But if you are interested, again, using SDK, you can call your own indexing services that are available, okay, that can be used locally also. Okay, so for that we are going to actually deploy by default Azure AI Search. Secondly, when it comes to text, custom text classification, okay, so here you will have your documents, right? You will have your documents and you would like to classify the documents and identify entities from the document, something. Okay, you want to classify the document, or you want to classify the sentiment in the document, identify entities in the document, something. So for this, you would require a storage. Azure storage is a must. Azure storage stores the document, and then only you can build a custom text classification or something similar to that. Okay. Now, just to keep it simple, when I'm talking about all this, this is what I was talking about. All right. Now, what I'm going to do, I've selected both, and I'll say continue to create the resource. The moment I say continue to create the resource, I want you to see two things. First, it is asking me a resource group. Let me call it as a K21 resource group. Next thing, it is asking me the region. Now, there are some specific region, okay, wherein we can do some custom things. I'll show you. Here, there is no, if I go to analyze text, and if I scroll down here, there is no mention. You can choose any available region. You can choose any available region. Okay. But if I go to maybe custom question answering, I want to use a single service for all the things. So let me go to custom question answering and let me scroll down. Here also it is saying choose any available region. So that's not a problem here also. Now let me just go to language understanding. Okay. Or maybe custom text classification. So let me right click and open this custom text, any language understanding, custom text or custom entity. So I've just opened that um, custom text classification. And here, if you see, it is saying choose the region from here on. Do not choose any other region. Making sense? So we need to choose a region, something from here only. So what I'm going to do, since I'm creating a service that can do multiple things for me, a question answering, a custom text classification, right? So what I'm going to do, I'll select a region from that space only. So let me select Australia East. Now it is asking me the name. This instance is the name of the language resource. So let me give a language resource name as language Australia something. Okay. Now I can select two types of tier. So I can select a free tier, but right now since I've already deployed a free tier, I can only go with standard tier. Per account, you can only, per subscription, you can only have one free tier for a service. Okay, so I've already got that, so I'm using this. Now, if I scroll down, this is what I was saying. Okay, so if I scroll up here, you can see custom question answer. For this, what do you require? You require again a resource. Okay. And then you have indexes that you can use. Fine. So you can select an index. Then if you see custom text classification, custom sentiment, custom text analytics, anything you want to do, you need to create a storage account. So you can select a storage account. Okay. And then you can give a name to the storage account. Let me call something. Okay. Now I can select a storage account type. Local redundant is the cheapest local redundant storage one. So I'll select this. And now I can check mark that I am using it for responsible use cases. Okay. And then I'll click on review plus create. The moment I click on review plus create, you can see what are we able to create. So just to show you here, I can see that I am creating a language resource. I'm creating a search service, search region. Can you see? And then I'm using creating a storage account. Okay. So via a single language resource, now I can do multiple tasks. What all tasks can I do? I can do text analytics. I can do Q&A. I can do custom classification. I can do custom entity work. And actually, no, not mentioned, but conversational language understanding also I can do, which we are going to look into. Conversational language understanding. So I can do this, 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 I can directly do. And for these two tasks, this is where we are going to do the custom training. Okay, whenever we do the custom training, we need to store the data somewhere. And for that, we will be using a storage account to store the data. Okay, and then we are going to pick the data from there and then do the custom training of the model. All right. And for all other, we can directly do without custom training. Here you can see I've got those three services that I was talking about. Now I'll click on the first one. Now under this, I have keys and endpoint. I have keys and endpoint. So to do text analytics, keys and endpoint are more than enough. But for doing question answering, conversational language understanding, custom text classification, and custom entities, still here. For doing all this, okay, what are we going to do? I'll show you. For all this, we will be using a language studio. We will be using a language studio. For all this task, we will be using a language studio. To use the language studio, the prerequisite is you need to have a resource deployed in Azure. Resource deployed in Azure. That's simple. Once you have the resource deployed in Azure, then you can use the language studio. All right. What are we going to do? We are going to go ahead and do the text analytics. Okay. So let me close this. Let me keep the screen to minimum things. And now I need to clone a repository. So this is the repository that I need to clone. I have already cloned the repository and I have kept it on my local system.
So I hope you're enjoying this video so far. Now before we move on, I want to quickly let you know about something that could supercharge your AI/ML career. So at K2 Academy, we are offering a free masterclass on AI, machine learning, data science, and agentic AI, where we will break down a simple 3-step framework that's already helped people like Shrija, Mark, Debashish, and many land their dream jobs in AI. So don't miss it. The link to register is in the description and pinned comment. This could be the game changer you have been waiting for.
So this is the repository that we are talking about. This is the repo, MS Learn AI language. Okay, let me close this. Okay, let me just take you through this lab. So we are talking about text analysis of text. Under this, we have a folder. Under this, we have a folder Python. So what is the first thing that I need to do? If I need to work within this thing, I'll just go for, I'm already into MS Learn AI language. If you can see, I'll just type for lab file tab. Then I'll use the keyword 01 and do a tab, get into text analysis. Then I'll do cd p python. And under the Python, again, have a folder. What is the name of the folder? Text analytics. Under this folder, do I have something? No, I have an environment variable required and a requirement.txt file. In the requirement, there is only one mention. What is the mention? Python. So first I need to create an environment. So to create an environment, we can give a name Python. Okay, if I want to create it, I'll just show you the instruction. So I've already cloned and I am into the correct repo. This is the place where I am right now. Now I need to go ahead and create an environment. So I need to create an environment so I can create a virtual environment. To create an environment, this is the tag. We can say virtual environment and then we can give a name to the environment. Let me just call it as Jalal ENV and hit enter. The moment I do this, I'll say I do not want to get into the folder. And now I can see I have got an environment folder. Okay. Now I am into this environment folder. Under this environment folder, now I want to get into this folder to activate the environment. So I'll say dot slash, what is the name of the environment? Jalal ENV slash. Under this, there is a script. If you want to activate this via PowerShell, I need to get into the folder of script. So let me just get into the folder of scripts. And under this, I need to activate the PowerShell command. So just need to activate this environment. So I can just say activate.ps1. The moment I do this, here you can see I have moved from this to this environment. Okay. So now I am into this environment. I have just cleared the screen. Okay. Now after being into this environment within this directory, now I want to have an environment variable defined. So if I come up here, here you can see I need an AI service endpoint and the AI service key. This is actually this endpoint and the key. This is the key. This is the key and this is the endpoint. Length for all.cognitiveservice.azure.com and you can see DOLRH or something. Here also you can see the same thing. So I'm into this. I've already created. Now I need to run this requirement.txt file also. So for that I can say pip install -r requirements.txt. Now, is something else also that I require apart from requirement.txt? Yeah, I do require language SDK also, right? So they have not mentioned. So what we can do, we can directly take it separately also. At the time of running this requirement.txt file, we can paste this also, and then we can run. Okay, so now it is actually going to go ahead and install that into this environment. This is done and now you can see this is all completed, successfully installed Azure AI Text Analytics, which is required 5.3.0 is the version. Okay, so just to keep it simple, this is what we have in the lab here. Okay, so first we activate the environment, then we import the namespaces, then we connect our client, text analytics client, which is the class, to this endpoint and credential. So the moment we connect, so I'll just put it this way. I have an application. In this application, there is a SDK class. Python SDK class is there. The name of this class is, I told you, this is the name of the class, text analytics client. This can actually connect to the cloud service. We have something in the cloud. So suppose this is our Azure cloud. In this cloud, we have an endpoint and we have the credential. So via this endpoint and credential, we are going to connect this application via this SDK class. That's it. Once we connect, then we can go ahead and do all the tasks that we want to do. I want to detect the language. So I'll call this variable, which is attached to the class, take the method and get the language detected. Then I want to get the sentiment. It's pretty simple. Then I want to um, get the key phrases. Then I want to get the entities that can be recognized. And then I want to get the link of the entity. So I can say recognized linked entity. Okay, so this is what we have. And we know which folder it is going to review. This folder it is going to review. Let me put it to full screen for the better visibility. And let me just put it here. I'm in the correct folder. Be in the correct folder when you do this stuff. Python, what is the name of the file? T textanalytics.py. Now see what it is able to go ahead and do. First, if you remember, I told print the text. So it is first printing the text as it is. Name of the text and then it is printing the text. Then it is detecting the language, primary language. Sentiment is positive. Then there are some key phrases. You will always see good hotel, good service, great location, Buckingham Palace. This looks to be an entity, right? But I told you, sometimes the model can get confused, and many of the times the key phrases can also have entities. But generally, you will see more like an entity, key phrases. Okay, some key phrases can be entity. But here you will be pretty sure that you are getting entities like hotel, staff. Okay, staff is a person type. It is giving you the details. Okay, not just name. It is telling you what is the type of this name. Then Royal Hotel London UK address, date, time, Buckingham Palace, it is able to give you the entity. And then if I go down, for some, it was able to find some link like for good music, okay, for hotel, for Royal Hotel, it has given us a link. If I click on this, you can actually check it will be more of a correct link. It is talking about so many royal hotels, right? So whatever it was able to find, it will give you. It is not able to give you London directly, but it can give you royal hotels. Okay, Webster, Abbey, India, Michelin guide. There were some informations. All right. Similarly, I'll get it for second. I want you to go into the last one. Okay. In the last one, if you remember, the text was, I was not able to read the text, right? So it understood the text language, French. Sentiment seems to be positive. These are some key phrases, and it is able to give me the text also with the link. All right. If I click on this, it should be able to give the information. Now, suppose this is the link that it is giving, but I'm not happy with the link. Suppose I'm not happy with the link. In that case, suppose my text does not expect me to give this kind of link. Okay. Or maybe this kind of entities I am not happy. So I can do a custom entity recognition. Fine. Okay. Now I want to detect and redact the personal. Redact means I want to highlight that. Okay. So actually I want to mark some asterisks, right? Okay. Now for that, if you are interested, we can actually go ahead and use some quick start document to be able to make sense. I'm using Python. Okay, and there is some quick start document. If we want, we can set up, which we have already set. Okay, now if you want to get some documents, okay, like here you can see I want to get the reference for the document. So we can even take this and we can define it. Absolutely possible to make use of this, right? The only thing is, what do I need to do? If I need to add this PII, I need to match the information like the client name, everything should be correct, right? So the point that I'm trying to help you understand, we can make use of a method called as recognize PII entries. And via that, we can pass the document. Okay. And then we can specify the language. This is optional. And then we should be able to get the response also. So if we want to try this, let me just come up here. Okay. Can you see recognize PII entities? I can take this. Now, what is it is expecting? It is expecting documents. So let me just take the same things and I need to check the method. So first, let me just take this document. Let me be in the correct environment. This, let me run the script. Can we see PI entries? Can you see date, address, date, time, young, and adults? We can see here also. Is it making sense, everyone? Maybe I want to do something else also. I need to check how can we call. I just forgot. I wanted to check for that. Where is that symbol? See, where is that control I maybe? Yeah. Now I want to say maybe also redact the PII and save it in the folder named reviews with PII. Let us just try this out. Just adding that thing. And here I want to redact and I want to store it in the folder. Okay. Now let us just try this out. To right click, open, done. And let me just run. Can we see we have got a folder now? And let me just show. Can you see redacted? Now, if you want to use something else, I have used redacted, right? Rather than this keyword, I would like to use something called as this. And now let me run this again. And here we go. I hope that makes sense.
So that's a wrap for today's video. Now you have got a solid understanding of what natural language processing is and how it powers AI systems that understand and generate human language. So whether you're preparing for an AI/ML role or just expanding your knowledge, this foundational skill will serve you well in interviews and real-world projects. And also, if you want to take your AI/ML expertise even further, don't forget to register for our free masterclass that I mentioned earlier. It's packed with insights to help you land your next big AI job. And also, if you found this video helpful, hit the like button, subscribe for more content, and ring the bell icon so you never miss an update. And if you got any questions, drop them in the comments below. We would love to hear from you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.